What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here from Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of Good Times with Retro Rich. Hey, it's Tuesday, and it is episode 120. You guys know what that means. It's Community Prompt Day. That's right. So, how does Community Prompt Day work? Well, I go and scour the interwebs. I go to the Facebooks, and the Twitters, and the MeWes, and the Instagrams, even though I forgot it this time, and some other places, randomly. And I ask you guys a question. This week's question was, what is or are the coolest video game thing or things that you own that is not a game or a console? And that was the question. And I put it out there, and I usually let it stew for about a full working day, about 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. I gather up the answers, and then we shoot the show. And I tell you what everyone's responses were. This time, you guys really responded in kind on all sorts of different forms of media, and you gave me pictures, which is awesome, because they're all going right here. Yes, pictures will be here, floating around my blank hand. But yes, there will be pictures there soon. But before we get to that, I also go back in time and then look at other answers that may or may not have been submitted post-recording of the community prompt, because I don't want anyone to get left out. So let's go real quick to last week's question, where we did get some new answers. So last week's question was, what Amico game do you anticipate making the most co-op memories with friends and family, and why? I thought it was a pretty cool question. So, what happened in the 2 weeks, or the week, or so, it was about 2 weeks, since I asked the question? Well, let's dig in. Wyatt says, they should make a new Oregon Trail. I have spoken. Those are some wise words. I think they should do a reimagining of the Oregon Trail, or an Oregon Trail type game, because that'd be really cool. I would dig it. I'd play that, and it would kind of be cool if they could add that whole co-op thing, because Oregon Trail originally was kind of like a single player game, right? You against the CPU, and then you had to make sure that all of your friends and family and animals and cattle would all survive the trip along said Oregon Trail, and that you didn't die of dysentery. So I don't know, it'd be fun. It'd be really cool. So thanks, Wyatt. Chris says, my brother and I played the blank. It's a family-friendly show, Chris. Out of MLB and NFL, and then later Super Pro Football. So yet another person that is excited about really great in television remade sports games. John from the last prompt on episode 110 also was all about that, saying sports games are exciting to me, baseball, hockey, etc. Head-to-head, groups of people on each team playing different positions. It's something very attracted him to answering the question that way, and Chris looks like he is very excited to play some more blank out of some more games. So thank Chris for that. That was out of the Intellivision Amico and Gaming Community Facebook group. So if you guys don't know what that is and you're interested in the Intellivision Amico, head on over there and say hi. We're actually, that group is growing at quite a substantial rate, and it's almost hit 2,000 members, so it's pretty decent. And hey, I'm over there. And, you can come on in and answer some community prompts. It seems like the Intellivision crew and the Atari Age crew, it seems to be they were the leaders of wanting to participate in this. So, hey, it's fun. It's cool. So come on in. All right, cool. So let's move on to Intellivision Invasion, which is another awesome Intellivision group. They're a huge group just focused basically on the classic Intellivision console. But some Amico talk comes in there and slides in there too. And this, of course, because it was the community prompt, was one of those things. Michael, on that post in Intellivision Invasion, had replied with probably games like Cornhole, Farkle, and Missile Command, possibly, for the what games you think are going to be the big hits co-op for your friends and family. So those are all great hits. I mean, Cornhole is going to be awesome. It's in the box, so that's going to be, right there. Farkle, another great one. You're going to want to play the the dice games and the board and card games. I'm really excited about what they can do with the board and card game stuff. Could be really cool. And then of course Missile Command. I mean, come on, it's Missile Command. Everybody's going to want to play Missile Command, and the new version of Missile Command looks pretty crazy. So it's could be really cool. So, someone named Das, I hope I'm like pronouncing that right, DAS, also replied in that same Intellivision Invasion post saying sea battle because naval supremacy. So definitely a huge sea battle fan, right there, looking for him to rule the seas inside of his living room with his friends and family. That's always a cool time. And I think that wraps up all of the posts that were there. So, and I think I actually might be getting some posts as we speak for our current prompt, which is crazy. It's never happened to me before. Yes, we totally did. We totally did get a new entry. So you will be included, Mr. Live Person. And to be honest, I think it was actually, did I just read your post? I think actually I just read your post. It's John again. Coming in there right at the wire, to show some cool things about this post, which is, of course, once again, what is or are the coolest video game thing or things that you own that is not a game or a console. So there was a ton of replies, so I'm just gonna dig right in and let's get to it. We're gonna start on the Intellivision Amico and Gaming Community Facebook group, and we're gonna start with Francois. He's a cool dude. He's he's all about his gaming stuff, and he's super passionate. He's a really cool guy. So he says, I would say my book about StarCraft or my StarCraft Marine figurine. Very cool. Very cool. StarCraft was a pretty awesome game. Love that whole top-down strategy, real time. It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. I mean, StarCraft was huge. So, it's so huge that they have all these tournaments and that kind of stuff. So, hey, Francois, if you're listening and watching right now, send me a pic of the book. I want to see it, and then I'll include it next week. Not next week, but in 1:30, I will include it in the prompt if you reply. Hal says, "I've got nothing." Darn, family friendly. So I mean that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Then we have Lance Jennings coming in here. I own a sprint car simulator that uses a PlayStation 2. And then he linked a YouTube video, which I hope to clip something. And hey, I hope it's okay. But if I did clip it and it's floating right there, then, I mean, come on. It's how cool is that? A sprint car simulator at a speedway that uses a PlayStation 2. And then, yes, it is gaming related, and it is not a game or a console. It is just a very cool controller apparatus. That's so cool. That's really cool. Thanks, Lance. Thanks for the share. And, man, wicked cool. Wicked cool. Looks like we got one more comment, which is that comment that came in right in the wire. That was John, right after my heart. Right after my heart, John. He says, Activision Pitfall Explorers patch circa 1982. Yes, my friend. You're in the Explorers Club. Boom. I'm in the Sub Club. And it is from 1982, even though I had to get it from somebody else. Because why? Well, guys, you got to go down below, look up Perfect Score Returns, An Old Man, and the Sequest, and watch that episode. And you'll find out why. But, yes, those Activision patches, oof, so cool. So very cool. And thanks, John, for sharing. I want to get that one. All right, cool. So let's move on to the Intellivision Amico Society. Lots of comments in this one. Again, awesome. Thank you. Another great group. TJ, my friend from across the country over in the California lands, is the main moderator of this group. He's an awesome dude, super funny, and again, just a chill group. Come on in, talk some Amico, talk some games. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So, let's get to it. Michael says, kind of faded now, but this shirt from AMNH, which is this guy right here, looking like a cool Pac-Man looking shirt. AMNH. I'm imagining it might be like the arcade museum, maybe, in New Hampshire. And if it is, then I think the Arcade Museum in New Hampshire is part of Fun Spot, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. If it is, let me know, Michael, in the comments. If it is not, then also let me know. But, oh man, ooh, I've got so many when it comes to my share that this might have to be a part 2. I don't know, or I might just have to like start in every community prompt to show you something else. Oh, just so many things just like surrounding me. That are really cool. But anyway, so let's move on to Mike. He says, it's a tough one. I realize I don't have as much stuff that's not a game or a console as I would have thought. But he shared a really cool on-card Miss Pac-Man toy of Miss Pac-Man eating a ghost, which is kind of cool. That's really neat. Check it out. Isn't that neat? All right, that's cool. So thanks for the share, Mike. That's awesome. And of course, hey, feel free to just, come on in and, participate in some more of these prompts. It's pretty awesome. So Grant says a parallel port to DB9 connector with software to use an old computer for Intellivision gaming. That is cool. He didn't include a picture, but Grant, I want to know more. Get down in the comments or get into the Amico Society. Tell me about this magical parallel to DB9 connector and the software to use with an old computer for Intellivision gaming, because that sounds like I want to know about that, which would be really very, very cool. So I might actually be reaching out to you about that. All right, cool. So Tim, he says, my Steel Battalion controller and my map from Dragon Quest III are my favorite video game related items that aren't a game or a console. Maybe my old Xbox Airflow controller too. Man, that was a great controller. And I did hear about the Airflow controller. I don't think I've ever held one in my hand. I've held the Duke on the original OG Xbox, and I've held the S, the controller S, but I don't think I've ever held the Airflow. But I'm imagining it'd be kind of cool. Keep your hands dry and nice and chill, right? Very cool, very cool. And of course, the Steel Battalion controller. I wouldn't have a range big enough to show it in one screen. That controller is ridiculous. I might go and search. This might be a Google picture right here of a Steel Battalion controller, because if you guys don't know what that is, it's like a mech game that came out for the original Xbox. It's ridiculously big, so big, and I've seen it in person twice. I went to an old games convention that still happens. Called Dreamation in the winter. They have two, Dreamation in the winter and DexCon in the summer, and somebody there that does all the video game stuff of the convention did indeed have a Steel Battalion controller, brought it twice in a row. I think it's to DexCon because it's a bigger convention. You get a lot of people looking at the stuff, but man, that thing is enormous. I did not ask why he failed to bring it in the successive years that we went before we were unable to start, keep going because of life and all that kind of stuff. But there's no wonder why, because I guess he just didn't want to drag this stuff all around. Anyway, cool. So let's move on to Sean. Sean says, I've always cherished this little pewter Stormtrooper promo piece for LucasArts Dark Forces in 1994. I've also got a letter opener sword from the original Warcraft Orcs vs. Humans game that I've never seen anywhere else. That's awesome. And that picture right there, that's cool. Dark Forces is a favorite of mine. Played that way back in the day on a friend's computer, and then I finally got a copy myself when my dad upgraded our machine a couple years later. Very nice, very cool stuff. And then he's back for more. Sean is back saying, looking around my house, I've also got this Super Zaxxon marquee that's been on display everywhere I've lived since the mid-'80s. Take a look at this, folks. This marquee is sweet. Look at those dragons. Look at them. That's awesome. That is very cool. Very cool. Thanks for the share, Sean. And hey, if you got a picture of that old letter opener sword from Warcraft, I mean, hey, pop it down in a comment or whatever. We'll revisit this on the revisit on 130, and talk about it some more. That's some cool stuff. Thanks for sharing, man. Thanks for sharing. All right, cool. We're going on to Atari Age, where there were some really, really cool things that were shared here. James says, I have some promotional material from Sega that was sent to retailers back when the Saturn was in stores. Not sure how cool it is, but I'm sure it's pretty rare. I'm saying right now, that is cool. Look at this. It's a cool little letter from Sega saying, like, hey, get ready, retailers, to share in the Sega Saturn fun, and get this thing on shelves. The things are already on your way to you. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened around the Sega Saturn launch, but I mean, come on, it's cool. It's cool to have a little piece of history, right? Even if it is just a little promotional letter saying, hey, we're going to inundate your stores with things that you don't know are coming. But, it's cool. It's very cool. Very cool. That's awesome. Thanks for the share, man. It's really cool. So, David says, I just picked up a perfect Flight Commander controller for the VCS. Beautiful. That's awesome. Could you share a picture? Because I'd love to see it. And a Flight Commander. Is there a Flight Commander game for the VCS? Oh, I mean, you're talking about original VCS. Not Atari VCS, new VCS. Got it. That'd be cool. If you have a pic, let's see it. That'd be cool. I'll show it on a 130. It's going to happen. All right, cool. Let's go to Gary on the Atari Age. Says, I'm going with my Commodore VIC-20 retail kiosk. Boom. Look at that thing. Look at that monstrosity. That's awesome. That is super cool. I don't know. I've seen some pictures. The people have the Sears Atari kiosk. I think somebody showed a Sears or a Radio Shack and television kiosk they got. I mean, the guys that have these old kiosks and they're still in great shape. That's awesome. That's totally cool. That is really, really neat. So thanks for the share, Gary. That's really cool. Jean-Francois, he says, my Coleco Canada promotional hockey jersey. Look at that. That's pretty cool. It's got the maple leaf and everything. Like that's neat. I'm down with that. I'd rock that. I would rock it. I mean, I was never really a big fan of Coleco, but if I had a promotional hockey jersey that said Coleco or said anything on it, I'd rock it. It'd be really cool. Really cool. So, Edward says, this would be my Donkey Kong mirror. I won it at a fall festival throwing darts at a star back in the 80s. Look at that cool. That's a cool mirror. And that looks like it's handmade, which is really neat. Because like those things are obviously super unique and probably super rare. Because, I mean, how many of those mirrors got made? Maybe just that one. Who knows? That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Thanks for the share, Edward. That's a cool little thing. And in the background of those pictures, there's some cool stuff in there. I see those Micro Machine things. I see some Star Wars figures, maybe. Some cool stuff. Cool stuff in that collection. Thanks. All right, Leonard. He has two. And these things are mega cool. Check this out. A karaoke for the Sega Mega Drive. Look at that thing. That's awesome. That is super cool. I definitely would want to see like how that works or what software you needed or anything like that. That'd be really cool. And then check this out. Leonard with the double hit of awesome Ralph Baer's prototype camera controller for the NES. What? Look at that. That's awesome. That is totally cool and super unique. Thanks for the share, man. That is awesome stuff. It is totally cool. I mean, I want to know now, like, do you have the software for it? Like, how does it work? Could you do like a vid and be like, hey, this is how like the controller was supposed to work? Very intrigued. Very cool stuff. Thank you for sharing, Leonard. All right, cool. Will says, Porky Xanta game for the ColecoVision. I believe it's the only CV Xanta cart ever found. Or CV meaning ColecoVision. Because there were some Xanta carts, of course, for the Atari 2600. I have one over there. It's Ghost Manor and the mountain one, Thunder something. So that's cool. But yeah, I guess there was only one for ColecoVision. It had Porky's and what is the other game on the Xanta cart? I mean, it's usually two, right? So it's Porky's and whatever. What's the other game? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below, Will. And if you got a pic of it, that'd be cool. Snap a pic and share it. I'll update it at 1:30. All right, cool. So Mike says, not sure about this one. Don't have anything but the instructions. Hard to find, I think, though. And it looks like it's the Flight Commander instruction manual for the Flight Commander controller we just talked a little bit about, because David has one of those controllers, which is really cool. So, hey, maybe he is missing the instructions. So Mike and Dave, get together. Maybe like a trade situation or something like that. I mean, if you don't, unless you want to keep the instruction manual, of course. But very cool. Very cool. So thanks for the share. Let's go to your daily dose of random retro, which is a cool little group that talks about all things random and all things retro. The user 8-Bit Pickle, which I think is also maybe the admin of the group or an admin of the group, not sure, but he's all over that one, and the daily random gaming that I also post my Fun for Fives on. He says, I have a lot of cool stuff. My infamous backpack comes to mind though, and look at that backpack. That's pretty cool. I almost actually had one of those. I had a chance to pre-order the infamous collector's edition that came with that backpack, but for whatever reason, I don't know if I missed it out or I didn't get there in time and I wound up having to pre-order the regular edition. But it is very cool. It's got the cool Sly logo on the backpack. It actually looks kind of almost looks like a canteen or something that would hold a soda bottle, but it is pretty cool and kind of functional. I do have somewhere around here, again, in the pile of stuff that is really cool in this place, I do have a Destiny 2 collector's edition backpack, and right behind me, under all this stuff, is a fully sealed in box PlayStation 4 version of the Destiny 2 collector's edition, because it's starting to fray, because I used to use it all the time, that backpack, and as it frays and it finally gives up, pull one right back out of that box, and the Destiny backpack will live another day, which is really cool. So awesome. Thanks, 8-Bit Pickle, for the share on that. And that, I believe, is it for Facebook, but let's go to the Twitters, because there were some friends out there that did definitely share some more stuff. So let's check it out. We've got Retro KillDashNine, my buddy. He says, this is the coolest video game thing that I own that's not a video game, and it is the Homework First video game lock for Nintendo, featuring self-setting combination by Masterlock. Look at that thing. Now, if you walked in, you came home, and you were like, all right, you know what? I'm going to ditch homework today. I'm just going to play some NES. And you walked in and you saw that on your NES. I would be demoralizing. I'd be like, what is happening in my life right now that I can't play my NES because I have to do my homework first? And then maybe, just maybe, my parents will give me the combination so I can play some NES. That's cool. I've never seen anything like that. He has shown it to me before, but I've never, when I saw it, I was like, I didn't even know that thing existed. That is crazy. So you can literally lock up your NES and then be like, no, you can't play. And then you just get a top loader, and then you're like, ha, I gotcha. I'm playing my NES anyway. That's cool. Let's move on to Dennis. He says, my first ever video game related t-shirt from Squared 7 for the Evercade Retro System and for the Safe in Our World Day, which is awesome. It was a great cause. It was a great t-shirt. And you can see us, me, Retro KillDashNine, and OEB Pete wear them frequently on the Evercast. Don't know what the Evercast is? Go over to OEB Pete's channel. Check it out. Talk a little bit about this fun thing. That's the Evercade. Talk about it a lot, actually. And you can see the shirt because we wear it all the time. It's pretty cool. So thanks, Dennis, for the share. And let's go to Retro Rubbish Ryan. He says, I own a really cool 3D art book that I got with my copy of Dead Space on the PS3. I also have a sweet Fallout 3 lunchbox and bobblehead, which is very, very cool. I got a friend of mine that really loves Fallout stuff too, and I think I got him one of those cool like bobblehead things that came out. Was one of those collector's editions. It might be one of those Funko Pop guys or something like that. So that's pretty cool. But that art book, the 3D art book for Dead Space, that's really cool to look at. So in case you're watching, hey, drop a little pic of some of that stuff so we can share it on 130. Be cool. All right, awesome. Anthony Two Tails, my buddy, Anthony Two Tails. He didn't reply with a statement. He just replied with this crazy picture. And take a look at this. Take a look at that. It's a Metroid on his head. It's very cool looking. I don't know where he got it, but it's very, very awesome. And it looks like it's like super real. I bet you, I don't even know. Like it actually looks like it might be like jelly, like, you know, like when you touch the little Metroid membrane thing. Like, I don't know. It freaked me out, but that is very cool. So thanks, Anthem, for the share and the funny share as it is. That's very cool. It's very, very cool. Cool. And then we have Dutch. He says, my son loved the Switch game Twin Robots Ultimate Edition. I couldn't find any toys from the game online, so I got in touch with the developer, and he sent me 2 3D printed characters that he painted by hand all the way from Spain. I thought that was so cool. Thanks again, Pablo. That is awesome. That is like, I don't even know what kind of levels. Like, that's S-tier level customer service from a developer. They're like, hey, I really like your game, and I wanted like some cool toys. And he's like, you know what? I got you. I'm just going to 3D print characters from the game and paint them by hand and send them to you. That's awesome. That is really cool. And Twin Robots Ultimate Edition, I don't know what this game is, but now I think I got to check it out. And I don't really like do Switch stuff, but that story like just pulls me right into, yeah, I probably need to check this out because the developer is that cool. And, you know, I'm all about that. So very cool, very cool. And thanks for the share, Dutch. And that is it for not only Twitter, but everything else. There was nobody on the MeWe's. So sad face. There's some cool people out there. Come on. Do it up. And of course, I forgot to even post it on Instagram. So sorry. I will try to figure out a cool little teaser pic and put that out on the Instagram so that you guys can share that and participate there as well. Of course, I might actually do that when I post this video. And of course, please go down and participate and say hi and do all that kind of stuff because, you know, I will be happy to include yours in the 130 roundup right before we do the next community prompt, which is cool. So if you guys are with me for this onslaught of awesome, and thank you so much, guys, for participating. And if you're still sticking with me, now you get to know what my picks are. And I'm just going to go nuts because, hey, it's a half hour. What's 40 minutes between friends? I can take 10 minutes and show you all sorts of cool stuff just floating around this place. And I want to start with the thing that I teased on yesterday's episode of Good Times with Retro Rich, the Fun for Five, which is this cool video games stamp set from the UK. Now, when you open it, it actually has, as you open it, some really cool things that talk about all of the games that are represented in the stamps. And these are actual stamps that I could pull and post to somewhere in England. Obviously, I wouldn't want to do that because the stamps themselves look really, really cool. There's a Elite, Sensible Soccer, Worms, Lemmings, Wipeout, Micro Machines, Dizzy, and Populous, which is really, really cool. Check that out there. So you got a little blurb about Elite, a little blurb about Dizzy, a little blurb about Populous, Lemmings, and then on the other side, you've got Micro Machines, one of my favorite games of all time, Sensible Soccer, Wipeout, which is another great game, and of course Worms. And most of these games now are appearing on the Evercade using all sorts of different collections. The Codemasters collection, you got the Worms collection, you got the Dizzy collection, of course, the Oliver Twins collection. I mean, all these cool games are just like popping out around. And then, as a bonus, there was a Tomb Raider 4-pack that shows you all sorts of different things from the Tomb Raider series, where there was Tomb Raider 1, Adventures of Lara Croft, Tomb Raider Chronicles, and of course Tomb Raider 2013, the reboot there. And then it gives you a little blurb about the series there. How cool is that? It's pretty cool. And they're stamps. Like, that's pretty awesome. Like, it's cool. Video game stamps. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I got it from a buddy of mine. His name's Paul. So thank you, Paul, for this cool thing. And I told you that one day, eventually, I would do a video. This is about a year plus in the making since I got this. But it was very cool. Thank you so much. And, of course, in that year, I have not used the stamps. I'm not going to. Not going to use a single one of them. But they are very cool. So, let me show you one more thing as I, knock over the dog here. Hold on a second. All right. So I'm into some movies. And if my buddy, Chris Call, also known as the Atari Creep, is watching, check this out. Check this out, Chris. This is for you. This is for you. It's one of my favorite things, and it is on my hunt list. If I ever see one of these games at a reasonable price, I'm getting it. But check it out. So it's a printed aluminum sign for John Carpenter's Halloween for the Atari 2600 by Wizard Games. It's insanely hard to get this. Getting it in a box is almost near impossible, and these things are extremely expensive. We're talking, we're talking Golden Axe Warrior expensive, maybe even more. Complete in box, I think it's even, it might even rival Spiker on the Intellivision. This thing is that rare. But love Halloween, love John Carpenter. This movie is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Period. Full stop. And I would love to have this game because I loved the Atari. I love the 7800, 2600. And even though I know this game is not so hot, I still would just want to have the cart. And I would just put it right there and stare at it every once in a while. And then every once in a while I'd put it in and listen to that crazy sound. Because I played it on a ROM one day and whew, that's pretty crazy. But that is neat. And I really like it. It's actually always staring me in the face directly past the camera. Absolutely, that's why I stood up to get it. But it's always there. I'm always looking at it. So if you see me wander up and looking up in the distance, I'm probably looking at the sign just because I just like looking at it. All right, cool. So another big hint about things that I have or may have that are cool, and there's too many of them to count because I'm a really big fan. I love me some Final Fantasy. Love it. Love it. And if you couldn't tell, this particular Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy VII, which is one of my favorite games of the series. If not the top of my series, it is very, very double tie, triple tie with a whole bunch of others in the series. But Final Fantasy VII basically was the game that just kind of blew me away. About the PlayStation was the thing that made me want to get a PlayStation when it was coming out. I was super stoked to play a Final Fantasy game. I had no idea what I was getting into, and it just was awesome. It was just a great experience. So that never left me, and all my friends knew it, especially my brother-in-law. So they would get me things that are Final Fantasy related every once in a while. So let's go through a little bit of a cavalcade of cool things that are related to Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy VII directly that you guys might want to see. All right, cool. So let's start out with something directly related to Final Fantasy VII and one of the coolest action figure-y things I own, and that is the Play Arts Final Fantasy VII Cloud and Hardy Daytona little Play Arts action figure set. Now this is not only complete in box, but it never came out of the box. Because, sorry Pete, I know you open every box, I keep things like this in box. I have no idea how much this was. It was a gift for me for Christmas one day, and it literally has sat on a shelf over there just staring me in the face since then. I've never opened it. I don't know. I'm scared to open it now because I think they're rare. Play Arts stuff that, you know, like the detail on these things are crazy. And I know it's too much glare from all the lights, but I mean, it's just kind of wicked cool looking. But who knows what this would be, you know, like sealed or not sealed or any of that stuff. So, but it's not getting opened. So sorry, just not. So, but there it is. That's cool. It's very cool. I love Final Fantasy VII. Love Cloud Strife. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. And it's a good time. So, speaking of other things Final Fantasy, the same brother-in-law, Keith, also got me this other cool thing right here, which is called The Sky, the art of Final Fantasy by Yashitaka Amano. Was one of the main artists for Final Fantasy. So you like all that hand brushed art that you see like in the manuals and on the cover and all that kind of stuff. That's in here. This set is from Dark Horse Books, and it's pretty crazy. So it's 3 full hardcover books, right, of all the art of all the different Final Fantasies. I'm just gonna pull one of them out because I mean there's like thousands of pages in here in the art, but I just want to show you some like cool stuff. So like here's the book one. So let me just see if I can find some like cool stuff. So here we go. Check this out. Like this is just like stuff you just stare at for hours and hours and hours. Like it's so cool. It's so cool stuff. So very cool. Very cool. So I like just opening it and looking at it every once in a while, but mostly it like the Hardy Daytona Cloud action figure sit right here in the studio, and they just kind of stare at me saying, hey, check me out every once in a while. But this thing is massive. I mean, if I put this on a scale, I would say this is like easily 20 pounds of book. You know, right here. It is, but it is cool. This is very, very cool. All right. There's one more thing, and then I'll let you guys go. But you're going to want to see it, so stick around. That's right, folks. It's a Buster Sword. Because why not? It is hand cleaved, like, or handmade. You know, it's a handmade replica of Cloud Strife's Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII. It's not anything official. It was actually like, you know, like literally handmade for me. I've had this for years and years and years and years. And yes, this is not plastic. This is real metal. It is super heavy. But let me see if I can get like one of these. Let's see if I could dual wield. It'd just be like do like one of these. So like this is like, yeah, it's pretty rad. So so yeah, so They actually make materia, like the guy that makes these swords. I mean, who knows if he even exists anymore, but if he did, they made materia that fit in the materia slot, and I never was able to get them. But like I said, I had this thing for like 10 years. And I've just been waiting for a place to put it. But now I have littles. It's like, am I going to put this like, this is above 40 something pounds easily. I'm going to put this thing on a shelf somewhere. And then like, you know, like one of them's going to get ideas and like try to climb and touch it or whatever. Like it's actually sharp on this one end. So it's like, no, that's not a good idea. So, you know, all the kids got to get a little older before I start messing around with this. But it's one of the coolest Christmas presents I've ever got in my life. But it's cool. It's cool. So anyway, let me put this thing down. This giant thing. All right, so what do you guys think? So, anyone else have any ideas or submissions or anything? Go ahead and drop a line down below here in these comments. Go and find the Facebook posts or the other things. Just chime on in. Community prompt is, you know, all about you guys. It is all about you. So I love sharing stuff, but I also, you know, like it's all about the chance to get the feedback and like digest the cool stories and really take time to look at, you know, at everything you guys are sharing. So thank you guys so much for, you know, participating in the community prompts, and I hope you guys think that these videos are cool. If you do, again, drop me a line, drop me a thumb, you know, do whatever. Just you know, say, hey, you know what, thanks for doing them, because I really like it, and if you guys do too, then we're gonna just keep on rolling with all this. So without any other further ado, I mean, I've held you guys for a really long time. Thanks so much for hanging in with me, if you guys did. But we got to kick it off to the friends. There they are. Give them likes, give them subs, give them all the cool things. Be sure to check them out and us out, you know, for all future videos and that kind of thing. If you want to talk some Evercade, this guy, you want to talk some more about this, there is a group of friends that are dedicated to that. There they are, right there. Give them likes, give them subs. Go check them out. Go on the Facebook group, the Evercade fans group. They're awesome times. Go over there and check them out and say hi to them. Of course, give them all of the cool things. Tell them I said hi. And hop on in. That brings us back to us here at Bacon Ice Cream Production. We thank you so much for watching. Thank you. This is totally cool. And this show, this particular mini show, the community prompt, would not exist without you. So thank you. So, and if you could, on the way out, help the channel grow by hitting this button. Because that'd be cool, right? Help us go. Get some more people in the community, more people answering prompts, and more people just having good times, which is what this is all about. All right, cool, guys. So don't forget, check us out on 1/30, which is in 2 weeks. We'll have a new community prompt. We'll have hopefully some more pictures and stuff to show from the previous community prompt. You know what? Keep pushing it, guys. Keep giving me all these kind of crazy things. When we do the next prompt, let's break an hour of just you guys. I'll do it. I'll just keep doing it. That'd be awesome. It's totally fun. It's totally fun. So if you guys are still here, thanks. Thanks again. And until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich, and we will see you later. Take it easy, guys.
Team RTFC.baconicecream.com